Now we're talking all things food, and joining us on the couch today is celebrated food photographer and published author Zorah Booley Samaai. Welcome to the show, my angel. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm good.
I'm excited because we're talking photography, specifically food photography. I mean, that is quite a very creative type of career to go into. But I know that you started off as a law student. How did that change come about from, law to food photography?
First, you'd be very surprised how many lawyers have actually gone into the food realm. I think because it's so contrasting, they like the change. But both my parents are lawyers, so it kind of just felt like, as the eldest child, just to go into that direction. But after a while, I realized it wasn't for me, and we did the switch. And immediately, I just decided to go study abroad, and that was like the change. I just needed a dramatic change because I wasn't enjoying it, so why are we doing it, you know?
Okay, I get that, because I also have gone through a career change myself. Before becoming a chef, I was in the office and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm not happy to be doing this. But then after getting into baking and then cooking, at which point did you decide that, you know what, I want to change completely. I want to go into photography. I want to do this. When did you realize that actually I want to do this and I'm pretty good at this?
So while I was studying in London at Cordon Bleu, I was obviously creating recipes every single day. And then I started a blog and I was like, I need to take photographs. So I started with my phone because I couldn't afford a camera then. I was a student. And then it just kind of developed from about 2016, 2017, because I wanted to show people what it looked like. And obviously presentation makes people want to bake the recipes. So I just started working on it from then. So
because all of us eat with our eyes. That's something we always say. And the one thing that I know I struggled with was food photography, because it's one thing to actually make a meal and it is delicious, you know it's tasty, but to make it look delectable on a plate to the point where someone can say, I want to buy that recipe, or I want to buy that recipe book, or I want to try that recipe. That's something that is very, very interesting. But I also do know that you have struggled with IBS, and how has that struggle led you to then write a book and basically what it's all about?
So yeah, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, I kind of got diagnosed with that around 2017. And it triggers different people. Many people do have it. You'll be surprised how many. So after being triggered, I noticed that a lot of my friends had the same problem. So I started just creating foods that were a little bit softer on the tummy, that you could just enjoy as well, just maybe a little bit less spice, even though I'm Indian. It's like usually a lot of spice. So I just kind of toned down. And then that just kind of catapulted me into writing a book that was just really good for your overall gut health. It's actually good for everyone, just to focus on your gut and what the microbiomes need in that area. But yeah, I think my own struggles in having to cook for myself got me into making recipes that could eventually turn into a cookbook.
But I do know that you have somewhat of a support system in that. You've got your hubby that's supporting you, but you also have some fur babies.
My little babies.
How has that been, like, just having them support? How exactly do they even support you?
I mean, let's just say my dogs are, like, lying on the floor while I'm baking, like, if I'm shooting something, but usually they're, you know, wanting to eat the food, and I'm just like, just give it a minute. My husband, though, he has his own media company. So we're kind of in similar fields. He also does a lot of videography, so he helps me in a few campaigns, and he actually helped me shoot the book, which was quite amazing. Yeah, I needed a lot of the help as well, because it was just very overwhelming to do it all, to shoot, recipe test, edit, and write. It was just a lot. So he actually shot all the images for that book, which was pretty amazing. Quite a great experience to work together. It's
such a beautiful thing just to know that you've got support from the very beginning in your house, you know? Always. And I think also because he's got that experience in the media, you've now put it all together. It becomes somewhat of a family affair.
Yeah,
and I think even here on Afternoon Express, we like to cook. I mean, our show is just about food. But then how would you sum up, I guess, your journey with food, the photography, all of it? How has it come together, and how has that made your life better in a sense?
I don't know. For me, it's just it's all a passion that I love. So, like, obviously work is work. You still put a lot of effort into it. But I think doing all of these things that I love really does make it a lot easier. And I enjoy all the aspects of it. I enjoy the recipe testing, the shooting, the editing. And especially when you see that your client really enjoys it, or your publisher really loves the images, you're like, okay, I did that right. And creating a career like that just kind of makes it a bit easier, knowing that you're getting, you know, the positive affirmations from everyone.
Because you could never take photos as a lawyer. You can't take pictures of your clients. But it is really beautiful. I'm excited that you're here, because I think you're going to give myself and Jay a couple of tips here and there, because, like I said, one of the few things I have struggled with is food photography. So you're going to give us some tips right throughout the show. Help us. All right, then. Zorah is living proof that your first plan doesn't always have to work out in order to make a success of your life, Mzansi. So go out there, pursue your dreams and passions fiercely.